Regardless, let me hop into a few things, people. Okay, where should we start? Oh, and YB dropped a new album. So YoungBoy got a new album out, 30 something tracks. By the way, let me tell you this. Salute to YoungBoy. Let me show him some love, of course, first. You know, we love YoungBoy. Hey, there's a thin line between quality and quantity, and I think YoungBoy constantly he straddles the line really well, and he makes sure even though he gives quantity, it's definitely a lot of quality in there, and he feeds his fans. Also, I think he has different fans than anyone else. Put it like this: I think the last two albums, right? And I'm saying albums, not projects, because he dropped projects in between. But the last Slide Meter was over 30 tracks. Now this project, Don't Try This at Home, is 30 tracks. But when YoungBoy drops it, you know what we say? Yo, YoungBoy's a grinder. He's a hard worker. He feeds the fans. He keeps us fed. When Chris Brown drops 33 songs, we're like, this nigga off a fucking pill. He's a crackhead. Like, he just does, you know what I mean? So it's all about optics, right? It's like we look at YoungBoy, we're like, he's a hard worker. We look at Chris Brown, niggas is trying to like say it's drug use that's making him give so much music. So a lot of things in life, not only just music, it's just perspective. Have I listened to the full project yet? I've listened to a couple songs. A couple songs is hitting on that shit, you know what I mean? He's definitely getting a lot off his chest. I haven't digested the whole thing, and that's the thing about YoungBoy's music. You know, I've talked to his manager about this before, and YoungBoy's music is interesting because by the time you start, like, for example, I personally think it takes about like 1 or 2 weeks of listening habitually to a project for you to really get it. Right? Like, you know the sequence of it, you know what you like, you don't like, you know you like track 3, but you only like the third verse. You like track 16, but you only like the hook. The intro's boring on track 10. You kind of get into it, right? At first, like, anytime you hear new sounds, I'll tell you what it does to me. I don't like hearing new shit. So, new shit, like, unless it's just instantly fire, which that doesn't happen all the time. I'm usually like, it's whatever, right? Now, after I've listened for a while and I let it sit, sometimes my opinion changes. That's why I don't really give like strong opinions anymore when we do listening sessions. We haven't done one in a while. But with YoungBoy, I think sometimes people will be catching up to like an album or two before. So him dropping this, I think he drops music at his own pace rather than waiting for the fans to catch up. He's like, yo, the music's out there. You catch up when you can. Some going to be ahead. Some going to be behind. It is what it is. I want to hear what you guys think about this. I'll tell you what I'm impressed by with YoungBoy. I think house arrest is such a difficult thing, even mentally, to be on as an artist. But to create music as if you were living, and to create music on a general palette, just not about one thing or that the fact that you're locked up, I think is really impressive. Your mind has to somehow escape those, obviously he's not like he's in a cell. He lives in a big old mansion in Utah, but you have to escape the fact that you can't go outside really. And you have to creatively go outside and creatively find a way to entertain people that are outside. Just think about this. YoungBoy hasn't been really outside for like since the pandemic, right? He hasn't been outside since then. However, life and the world is keep progressing. He has to make music relevant to it. So, I look at him and I give him a lot of credit. Just like, if you follow, like, for example, like Vibes Cartel, who's in like dancehall, he's been incarcerated and he makes music for people going to the party every night. Like, just think about like how mentally challenging that has to be. You're incarcerated. You're not hitting the clubs. You're not doing whatever in the streets, but you have to make music for the people who are. And you got to be current. You got to be relevant. You got to be hot. I think that's pretty hard. So you guys let me know what you think about the album. I haven't really digested enough to tell you like, yo, this is like fire or, nah, I ain't rocking with it. So still going through and listening to some songs. You guys let me know what you think. Interestingly enough, he had a virtual party, which I wonder how this went. So He had a release party in LA. Of course, he's in Utah. NBA YoungBoy. I have no idea how this went down. He hosted a live album streaming release party while he was under house arrest. And he threw it in LA, but of course he's in Utah. Okay? Don't know how it went, but I do know some people who are supposedly involved with it. And they're saying that him and his team paid $200,000 to rent party space, right? And that they invited a bunch of people. But again, how are you going to have a release party for an album when the artist ain't there? Regardless, the music is out. Some of the notable singles he has is a song with Nicki Minaj, and also he has a song with Mariah the Scientist, and I believe another song with somebody I think we might care about. I forgot who. I'm sorry. Anyway. Somebody said virtual party. Yeah, it's like, I think they were just partying to the music, but knowing he won't be there. And then maybe he like, I don't know, like Skyped in or some shit like that, FaceTimed in on like a big screen. That's what I would imagine. Like they put him on a projector, he FaceTimes and said, yo, what up? You know what I mean? Appreciate y'all for vibing with the album. You know, album release parties and also album listening sessions usually ain't for the artists to celebrate. It's usually to court the entertainers, influencers, the radio guys, the who's who that might have an opinion that could shape other people's opinion. You want to make them feel good and feel like it's a party around the music. So you invite all of them there, give them free food, liquor, play the music in the background. That's kind of what it is. So if you ask me, this is probably like a Capitol Records thing. You know, he's not on Atlantic anymore. Capitol Records is kind of, you know, I think they did a few things that I don't think he would have done by himself with this rollout. They got Elliott Wilson. He did an interview with him. Elliott Wilson, B-Dye, actually. He did a Billboard interview, right? Obviously, the Nicki track, I could see that happening. But the release party, we don't really be hearing about YoungBoy release party. So I'm thinking that this is a label thing trying to get people in the industry fucking with it, which we'll see if it works. Now, let me give very early preliminary estimates. I'm going to be honest with you. Number one, YoungBoy doesn't care about sales.